to tame me. You can't catch me on the run, cause I'm gone, yeah. I blaze trails, set fire to what's behind me. No, I'm never looking back, I'm on the run. I could only ever be what I'm made to be. Feels good when I'm living on the edge. Watch me now, go like thunder, gonna sacred ground. Can't stop me now, I don't give up and I won't back down. I'm a force of nature, can't be contained. I got lightning running all through my veins. Watch me now, watch me now.
Hi, I'm Wyatt Milam. I'm from Canova, West Virginia. When I'm back home, you'll find me at my local Parmar store.
We have that gold and blue pride at your local Parmar store. We are coming to your neighborhood soon. West Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Maryland, we have you covered. Download the Parmar app and sign up for the Parmar Rewards Card. Food, gas, groceries, and more, we are gold and blue proud, and we are Parmar stores.
If there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be soon.
And hello and welcome to the WolfMan's Call, Monday, July 24th. I hope you are doing well because this is an exciting day. We've got an exciting lineup. There you see it. It's Penn State, man. And you know what that means when Penn State is there? All that happens. That's right. All that's going on with there. And, of course, it's one day closer, one day, and that means that the Mountaineers have got to be ready, got to be fired up. Football season is just around the corner. And I have to say this, the WolfMan's Call Network is absolutely on fire. We've added a couple new places. And, of course, before we get to them, I want to go over in Morgantown. It's Legend Sports Bar and Grill, Aaron Gizzy up there in Lakeview. And, of course, we have the Mountaineer Tap House with Mel there in Morgantown as well. Steve Reese, Mason Jar, Hotspot, and Saloon. And, of course, we have up there as well. Now we got Kegler's Sports Bar and Grill. Are you kidding me? The house, man, we got it. And we're going to go down to Fairmont with the Mason Jar, Steve Reese again, barbecue and more. Button up those britches. Let's head out to Weirton, West Virginia. Route 22 Sports Bar. Bottoms up draft system, 12 50-inch screen TVs. How about this? Bridgeport, down there, Rob Davis. Yes, eat local, Brickside Bar and Grill. And all that, the Pallet in Teays Valley. And last but not least, how about the new addition? Along with Kegler's today, we have Archie's up in Pittsburgh, Carson Avenue, Carson Street out there. Man, how about their wings? 80-cent wings Monday through Thursday in Pittsburgh. It doesn't get much better. The WolfMan's Call Network coming right at you. How exciting that is. And let's go ahead and do one more thing, one more update for you. This Saturday, it's big. It's Deuce McBride. And guess what? Deuce is coming into Kegler's Sports Bar. That is at 5:30. On Saturday, the 29th, Dale Sparks Collection, and we got Deuce is going to be there. He plays for the Knicks right there in Kegler's too, the clubhouse, and of course, Kegler's Sports Bar. You got Red Bull, and with Dale Sparks, man, it doesn't get much better. The Deuce, and we're going to have Dale Sparks coming on later. What a full Monday we have, and I have one terrifically special guest, and that, of course, is legendary coach from Marchiol. He won a national championship his first year there, 1AA, and it's got to be only one person. That's got to be Coach Pruitt. Coach Pruitt, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. How about you guys?
We're doing fantastic. We're happy to have you here on the WolfMan's Call. I've been meaning to get you for a while now, and I finally got that Reno guy. That guy named Reno, who's from California for some reason. We got him to get us together there, and thank you for coming on.
Reno's my buddy. He's out there about 40,000 feet and got plenty of fuel. He's not going to land anytime soon.
That's right, Coach. Well, listen, let's start this off because I don't know how many people really know this, and I'll date it back to this. The first time I actually met you was at an event for you and Coach Nealon down there in Charleston, and Lee Javins and I were speaking for Coach Nealon, and you had your own players down there speaking for you, and it was a special event. I think it was the Cole thing, and we came together. It was the first time I met you, and I heard you, and I never laughed so hard. I never laughed so hard. The stories you were telling, and the funny thing was, man, you were giving it to Coach Nealon like I've never seen it. Coach Nealon, get it before. That was the first time. What did you think about that event, man, and your friendship with Don Nealon?
That was great. Coach and I, got acquainted, really got acquainted when we did the Friends of Cole. We were spokesperson for them for a number of years, and he's just a great, 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 great guy, and he's a great football coach. I tell everybody he's the best coach I've ever been around. I think he's really, really good, and I've been around some good ones, but I think he's a great coach, and he proved that the 20 years he was at WVU, and he's a good buddy, and I only say bad things about him when I'm by myself or with somebody.
That's right. The joke he told me we're going to keep to ourselves, but that's all right because he would fire back as well, as he always does. But the two of you going around for the Cole, Friends of Cole it was, and I just thought that was so neat because it put the two schools, WVU, Marchiol, together, the two of the higher schools for actual attendance-wise and what they mean in sports and reach out to. So, again, as the Friends of Cole, all involved in that and what you've been involved with. It's really exciting, man, just to have you here because I don't get too many coaches out here that's won national championships. I don't get, too many coaches that have the experience that you have. And we're going to start off with that. I got to go back to is when you started off coaching and you're a West Virginia guy. You're, I think, Beckley we're close right there to it. How did you go ahead and want to get into coaching? Because you started playing at Marchiol.
Well, that was my dream. My daddy was a coal miner. He worked in low coal in 1933 with a pick and shovel. I was in East Beckley, West Virginia, and the youngest of 5 boys, and I was the only one that was able to go to college. I went on a football scholarship, and I really idolized my coach. Jerome Van Meter was a guy that won a bunch of championships in all sports at Woodrow Wilson High School in Beckley. He won the football, basketball, and track championship all in the same year. So he's legendary, and I just knew that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a coach, and the greatest thing about it is I went to Marchiol, loved it. Got married when I was a first semester freshman, had 2 boys, and graduated 4 years later, and loved to compete. So I wrestled, ran track, and played football at Marchiol. Played both ways, the whole time I was there. And when I graduated in 1965, had 2 little boys, had a degree in one hand, and a contract with the Dallas Cowboys in my back pocket, and I dreamed I wanted to come back to Marchiol and be the head football coach. So I'm a man that got to live my dream.
Yeah, you sure did. And you've coached with some special coaches along the way. And when you think about the mentors that taught you and how you grew up, because you were a defensive guy, or you trended that way to be coordinator. Florida, Steve Spurrier. I mean, you've been with some greats, and the fact that you just named Don Nealon, one of the great coaches. I mean, that just is really pretty awesome because you're right there in the same boat. And what was your inspiration? Who was your mentors to bring you to where you are through your career?
Well, in 1979, I was a high school football coach at Garfield High School, and we'd been in state championship final games. We really had a good high school team, and I had a lot of great players there. I started off, my first coaching job was at Groveton High School, and that was the fourth team that played in Remember the Titans. And they sort of stretched that movie a little bit. When I went to Groveton, they were 0-31, only had 17 kids out for football. So they said we was undefeated, but we won 2 games the first year, and then they combined T.C. Williams, Hammond, and GW High School, and that's when the defensive coordinator, and that was our first win, was over him at Hammond. He was defending regional champion. That was our first win, and then the next year we played the Titans. That was they in the movie. It was the 4th game. They said I gave him the banana. I didn't give him the banana. I had great respect for Herman Boone. He was a great football coach. They had a tough program, and we were a small school at the edge of Fairfax County that was sort of had the really rich kids, and then some kids that were a little lower on the bracket. But we got it turned around, and we did good there. And when I left them, they had 125 players, and they had a winning season. And I went to Garfield and was there 7 years, and then I wanted to get back to Marchiol. That was my school. We took a pretty hefty pay cut and brought 3 boys down here. And the only big thing about that, I wrestled there in Marchiol, and I had 2 boys that were state wrestling champions in West Virginia. Rodney, my oldest son, his junior year was the outstanding wrestler in the state, and Stevie, his junior and senior year was state champions, and both of them were state champions. So that's the wrestling thing. So it was all good. I love this state. This is a great place to grow up. Got great people, great competition. We sort of based our program on getting West Virginia players, and we made sure that one thing I will say, and Coach Neal I think I got hired. I was at Wake Forest, and Coach Groh didn't sign his contract, and then Coach Dooley came in and he retained me. I think it was because of my recruiting, because I wanted to make sure everywhere I was, whether it was at Ole Miss, Tulane, Wake Forest, Virginia, or Florida, I came back to the state and recruited the athletes here because, I might not get them, but we got some. Yeah, I wanted to make sure the people here, they come around, because if Florida comes and looks at them, they got to look at them.
That's for sure, Coach. And you have won many of those recruiting battles. And we talk about loving the state, and there's so much about you, what I love about that. But people don't know that you're an honorarian of the Homeland Security for West Virginia. I mean, you're there. You are West Virginia, man. You talk about coming back here, giving back here, but that's the truth, and that's what you have for most of your professional life. Now, obviously, you went away and coached some other places, but did a lot of your growing there. And when you came back to Marchiol, let's pick it up there, because I'm so fascinated. In your first year as a head coach, you won the 1AA national championship. Go ahead, Coach.
Well, Jim Donnan was the football coach in front of me, and he did a tremendous job. You got to give him credit. Mm-hmm. He left me some good players. And then, I was at Florida, and we just played for the national championship again as a defensive coordinator and played Nebraska. The game didn't turn out real good, but, we were there. We were 12-0 going into the ball game, and won't get into all that happened, but there's some reasons we didn't play as well as we should have. But that's not a good excuse. That's just, we got beat, and we got beat by a good football team. But I had always recruited Virginia wherever I was in West Virginia, in Washington, D.C. area. So that was, that when I got the job, I came in, I kept some guys here that didn't get to go to Georgia. I think there was 4 of them. They were really good coaches and brought my guys in. And I hit the ground running in recruiting, and we signed 11 guys my first year because we were still 1AA and didn't have a lot of scholarships. 10 of them went to the NFL, and the other one went to camp. So, now some of them went Randy Moss and Eric Kresser and Gerald Long had left West Virginia and come to Marchiol. I had recruited him out of high school at Mount View High School, and he had played there at West Virginia some. We got him, and there's other guys. Paul Tovies, he was a number 2 round guy. Gerardi Mercer. I mean, Eric Kresser was the backup quarterback at Florida. He started 7 games in the NFL. Of course, Randy was the best thing that you have on the planet. I mean, I had a guy that was battling the Heisman Trophy winner, Danny Warfel, to start. He's going into his 5th year. He could come and transfer down, and that he wanted to. I didn't have to recruit him, and because he wanted to play, and he wasn't going to get to play that much. Coach Spurrier told him he'd start him 3 games. Well, I started him 15.
Yes, you did. It's pretty amazing, the players that you had, Coach. And thinking back to it, when you're a defensive coordinator and making that transition to head coach, because now everybody wants to get that offensive coach to be that head coach, that guru, the guy who can score a lot of points and show a lot of flash. What was that transition for you like going in? Because your defenses were about not giving up yards and not giving up points. And you go back to Florida when you're there, you give up 17 yards, 86 yards per game on the ground. I mean, those were staunch defenses.
Yeah, well, I had really good players, and really good coaches coaching with me. I'll tell you a story here about how I got the job at Marchiol. Okay.
Absolutely.
This was my dream. So in 1990, I interviewed with Lee Moon, who was the athletic director. And he told me I was a good coach, but I was at Wake Forest. I was a defensive coordinator, and I was Al Groh, who was a great coach and went on to be the head coach for the Jets and came back to Virginia, was the ACC Coach of the Year, tremendous coach and a tremendous friend. And he didn't sign his contract, and Bill Dooley came in and he kept me. So, I mean, that was really good. But I go on the interview, and he tells me, he said, Lee Moon says, Coach, I knew him when he was an assistant at VMI in Virginia because I was a high school coach and had prospects. He said, Bobby says, you're a good football coach, but we need somebody our program is just now starting. We need somebody coming here that's been on TV, playing in bowl games, been in the national limelight to get our program. So Wake Forest, we were battling and doing good, but we weren't playing in bowl games. And the whole time I was there, we played on one national TV game, and that was against Virginia. So I come back in and I sit down with Elsie, my wife, and I said, Elsie, if I can't get the head coaching job at Marchiol, I don't know if I can get one. And I said, if I'm going to be able to live my dream, I got to pick up and leave. So I did. I didn't want to leave Wake Forest. We loved it in Winston-Salem. But I went to Ole Miss. We went to the Gator Bowl. We're second in the SEC. We played really well, played great defense. I wasn't the coordinator. I was the secondary coach. But I got to do it. This is what I got to do. I got to do it. And after 2 years, I decided I needed to leave. They were recruiting was a little different I've been used to there. So I decided I'd rather leave here. Went to Tulane, and but I had to do what I had to do, and from Tulane, I got the head coaching job. The head defensive coordinator job at Florida, and we weren't very good. We were playing good defense for Tulane, but I got the job because Coach Spurrier was at Duke, as the head coach at Duke, and we beat him 3 out of 4 times. And I
Ah,
was the secondary coach, and they were giving up a lot of passing yardage. And I was surprised. I was driving and recruiting Florida from Tulane, and saw a newspaper said he was looking for, they were throwing the ball over their head, and I picked up. I had a cell phone. I just called him, and he hadn't answered the phone in his office. I said, "Coach, this is me," and I said, "They won't throw it over my head, I guarantee you." So I guess the next week I get a call, and he wants me to come in for the interview. And I go in. He has 2 people. He has Arizona was the number 1 defense in the country, and he had their coordinator there interviewing him. And then I came in next, and he picks me up in Tampa on an airplane. I flew into Tampa, and he picks me up. He said, he talks real high, "Coach, how you doing?" In a high voice. He said, "We're going to go play golf." So, okay. He had shoes and clubs, and we went and played golf, 18 holes, and then he didn't talk a lot of football to me. He said, "I like the way you play defense and all this." And I think he was really interested in, can you mix with us? You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
He had checked with everybody about how I coached and all that stuff, and he had coached against me. So it's that Friday night, I'm sitting on the phone talking to the offensive line coach at Tulane. Called me and wanted to know how it's going. I said, "I don't know." Phone clicked in there at the Holiday Inn. I said, "I got to take this." And it was Coach Spurrier. He said, "You want to be the coordinator at defensive coordinator here?" I thought I was just interviewing for the secondary job. So I said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, okay, we'll be over to get you." And that's how it started. Then
Wow.
headlines of the Jacksonville paper, they named Bobby Pruitt as the defensive coordinator. They said, "Bobby who?" They never heard that.
A future national champion, Coach.
know.
But let's
So,
go on. Well, let me ask you this then, Coach. Let me interrupt you real quick. But your defensive philosophy, when I was always an offensive guy, I was coached offensively. I went over and became the head coach, and I had to learn defense. And Charlie McBride, if you remember him, the black shirts of Nebraska, right? Well, that was my instructor. He taught me how to coach defense, and I know his philosophy. What was your philosophy on defense?
Well, basically, what I told our guys, we got to and give a little bit of philosophy in this, but this was everything. I think no matter what you do, whether what you're doing or me, sort of got my philosophy is, if you're programmed for failure, you have to fix it. Okay?
Okay.
Programmed for failure, you got to fix it. Exploit your strengths and manage your weaknesses. Okay? I got a simple way of simplifying that. I got Randy Moss. He scored 55 touchdowns for me in 2 years.
That's pretty good.
They talk about this combo offense. Well, see, I was a defensive guy, so I knew what hurt me. Okay?
Right.
What hurt me. So I had an idea what I wanted. But I look out there, and I got the best guy that's probably ever played the game at wide receiver. So if you had one guy out there, we checked and threw the ball to him. Didn't make any difference. We loved it if you was bumping and running. Now, when they put 2 on you, we got this, what they call, whatever those initials they call this offense now. We had 10 on 9 on the other side, and we either run the zone read or the bubble screen. If you remember when we played West Virginia, we bubble screened a bunch because we was reading on the outside linebacker.
Yep.
So,
RPO, or run pass option.
That's right. Yeah. We were doing that in 1996.
Yes, you were. Yeah.
And so anyhow, so that's sort of a little bit of the philosophy. And I don't want to bore you, but let me tell you what we really made a difference. I told our coaches, first thing that we have to do in football, but basically this is what anybody does in their profession, is guys, everybody's got to know what to do. That's simple, right? Everybody's got to know what to do. But you ever been in a game where a guy didn't know what to do?
Yep.
Okay.
Sure did. Not on the same page.
Okay. Then the next thing, and I can go all day on what to do. That's my job as the coach to teach the assistant coaches or the people on your defensive staff on what to do if they didn't know. They know football, so some of them already knew, but they needed to know what to do. And then the next thing is you got to know how to do it. And that's my job and the guy I'm trying to teach it to, whether it's a player or a coach. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How to do it. There's a lot of ways of doing things, a lot of formations, a lot of different offense, West Coast, RPO, wishbone, power eye, split back veer. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. This is why we're going to do it this way.
Right.
What to do, how to do it, and why we do it that way. That's really important because there's a lot of ways of doing podcasts, but you have a certain way you do yours. It's probably different than the other guys. You do this way because why we do it this way fits what we're going to do. Then the next part of it, real simply, is when do I do it? So it's what, how, why, when. And the last part of it is, do you believe the good Lord's in this room? I do.
I do.
You do? Ain't nobody seen him in 2,000 years. I get down on my knees. I give my money to him. I pray to him. I can't touch him. But I had to have, that's belief.
Yep.
So that's a strong belief now. Can't get by with that without a strong belief in believing. Well, that's the kind of belief we got to have in this system and in what we do. If you don't believe, it's just like church. If you don't believe, you got to leave because you don't believe in that, you know where you're going. If you don't believe in what we're doing, how many times have you sat and seen a coach, because you've been around coaches, and have somebody in the corner over there, a little group in that corner, sitting over there, so that ain't going to work.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You don't need that.
Okay. If you don't believe, you got to leave.
Yeah.
Remember that. If you don't believe, you got to leave. We never run anybody off, but, that's how strong you got to believe and you can do it. So, if you go in a locker room at halftime, people said we adjusted the football well. No matter what you do, if the people don't believe in your system and what you're doing, you got no chance at halftime because you don't have time to make them believe in what you're doing.
Right.
So that's how you want to know a philosophy. That was my philosophy. I'm absolutely. How, why, when, and believe. And if you got a player in a game that don't know what to do, you're what? Programmed for failure. So you got to fix it. Everything about that is relevant to any job or anything you do. Now, listen, when we sit down and grade our films, whether I was a defensive coordinator or the head coach, if they put down missed assignment, that's not his fault. You put him in the game.
Yep.
If we don't know what to do, trim it down, either teach them or take it out.
Yeah.
Because on Wednesdays and Thursdays, if we was doing the same things wrong that we did on Monday, we threw it out of the game plan.
Sure, absolutely. Coach, I got this, man. It says how, what, why, when, and believe. I got it, right? Do I have it down?
What, how, why,
What?
when, and believe.
What, how, why? Okay. That, you know what? That, thank you so much for that, because I've heard a lot of coaches talk, and I think that might be the first one in that. First one.
Thing of it is, football gets so fast right now. Okay?
Yeah.
And, you get a play called in 4 seconds, they tell you. That means on the sidelines, you have to be able to articulate to whether it's the offense or the defense. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And, in 4 seconds, okay, I want you to do me something. Name those 5 things in 4 seconds. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004. We just.
That's okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you have to be able, if they do it in one word on both sides of the ball, if you're going to do that, that one word means just, you know what I'm saying? You got to adapt to what you're doing, because Florida State was running a hurry up offense at that time when I was in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to be ready. They had good players. I mean, they had great players. I mean,
sure.
We won the SEC both years I was there. We beat Alabama the first year and Arkansas the next. And, and won the SEC championship. We only lost one regular season game. So, I mean, we had a great experience, but I'm telling you, that I developed those principles over my time as an assistant. And what I tried to do is the good things I learned from all these great coaches. Coach Brewer, Ole Miss was good. Coach Groh was great. Coach Spurrier was tremendous. You know, the old ball coach. I mean, Bill Dooley was at Virginia Tech in North Carolina. Came to Wake Forest. Gosh, how many wins that guy won everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, Coach Randall at Marchiol. And Coach Buddy Stevens at Tulane. They all went on to have big coaching jobs and stuff. What I liked, I put down. What I thought that I could not do or didn't fit my personality, I put that down and I tried to learn from it. So if and ever I do get a job, I've got sort of a plan together, what it was. And I think the one thing that helped me so much is we sit down. I played Ole Miss when I was at Florida, and their offensive coordinator was at Ole Miss and did a great job in us and slowed us down. I had a great front. He slowed them down with the bubble. Remember I said we had the bubble screen and the zone read, and I put the other thing in there checking the X myself. But he had been at Ole Miss and I left, and he was coaching, and Gunnar Brewer, who knew him, I got him to come as be my offensive coordinator. We sit down and put it in. And then I never brought someone in to be a coordinator that didn't know my schemes on both offensively and defensively. So what I did is I promoted within.
Oh, okay.
I lost my offensive coordinator the first year. Larry Keck left and went to Southern Miss. And Tim Nunez was my offensive line coach. I'll make him the coordinator. We go 10-3, and he gets the offer to be the offensive line coach at Texas. So, so in '98, I get Tony Peterson, my quarterback coach. So he's on my staff. Well, I had to bring an offensive line coach in, and Marty Galbraith. Well, he came in. I knew him when I was at Wake Forest. He'd been in the NFL and all that stuff, and he'd been around. And so I brought him in as my offensive line coach. So then Tony Peterson goes to Minnesota as the offensive line coach. They really, people around there really like our offense. You know? Well, I liked it, so I'm gonna keep. He becomes my next coordinator. Now I need a quarterback coach, so I hire Ed Zombracker, who was an offensive coordinator at Wake Forest. He was an offensive coordinator at LSU. He was an offensive head coach at one of those schools, directional schools in Louisiana. It's now in either Conference USA or Sun Belt or something. And then he was, when you're a coordinator, you either got the players, you don't. I brought him, and he coached my quarterbacks. He was a great quarterback coach. And when Galvin left, I brought Mark McHale in to coach the offensive line, made Zombracker my coordinator. He's there a couple of years, and he goes to Florida as the offensive coordinator. So
that's pretty impressive, though. That really is. I mean, your long line of coaching, and I think that says a lot about a head coach who everybody's trying to get your coaches to come in there. That says a whole lot about the head man being you in that way. And the thing that you also said about was coaching your coaches to coach your players so that they know exactly what they're supposed to do and what you expect them to do. And that's what Coach Nalen told me about that when I became a head coach. And that was one of the greatest advices. He said, listen, you can't coach every player you have as a head coach, but you can coach your coaches to coach every player so that they can coach them the way you want them to be coached up. And I think that's the way, what you're telling me, that's the way you did it as well.
Well, yeah, see that little deal, don't put them in the game if they don't know what to do.
Yeah.
But it's your job to know what to do. I'll tell you a story. We had a great receiver named Nate Poole down here. Went on. He's the one that caught the ball against Minnesota when Randy and them were undefeated and knocked them out of going to the Super Bowl. He was playing for the Cardinals. And I'll tell you the relevance of this story because Marty Galbraith was at the Cardinals and was the offensive line coach, my former offensive line coach. And so I go in and Gunnar Brewer, who's really a great coach, and I love him to death. He's in Maryland, and he's a great recruiter and really did a good job. He's son of Billy Brewer, and he played at Wake Forest when I was there. And I go in and I said, Gunnar, I said, how come, I said, Nate's the best guy. How come he can't get in the game? He said, he doesn't know what to do. I said, oh. I said, I tell you what, Gunnar, this is a true story now. Mm-hmm. This has got the added benefit of being the truth.
Okay.
I said, I tell you what I'll do. I'll double your bowl bonus if I can't do this. And you bet me $1. He said, what's that? I said, when we go out to practice today, I won't talk to Nate all day long or before this happens.
Mm-hmm.
You tell me what play to call, and I'll call it, and he'll know what to do. Oh, no, he won't. I guarantee you. I said, well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll double your bowl bonus, but if you lose your bowl bonus. Now, we're going to go to a bowl game every year.
Yeah.
So, what do you want to do? He said, so now we'll just go with the original bet.
Good choice. He's smart.
Yeah. So we go out to practice, go to team period. I walk over to him. I said, you notice I haven't talked to Nate, hadn't said a word to him. You tell me what play to call, and I'll walk in the huddle and you can stand here and hear me call it. So I forget, it's been probably 25 years ago what it was exactly called. It might be Blue Pro Open 847. So I go in there and call that, and I just tag it, Nate Post. So that's what we did. That's what we did with him when he was in the game. He started learning what to do and started getting confident. And when he went to St. Louis, that's what Coach Albert did.
Yep.
So he plays 8 or 9 years. So it doesn't make any difference how much you as a coach knows as how much the player knows and how well he can execute it.
No,
believe in what you're doing. Believe in what you're doing.
That belief goes right back to the beginning of your fundamental.
Yeah.
It all circles around.
It's just like this. We're behind East Carolina at halftime in a bowl game, 38-8. That's 38-8.
Yeah.
And I was upset because I thought we should be ahead. And I went in and I talked to them about the belief. Yeah. I had to get their attention a little bit, and then we talked to them about belief. And I said, I don't know. I'll never forget. Mark Marchiol, our offensive line coach, scooted up beside me going in the sidelines. He said, Coach, he said, no matter what you do when you get in there, be positive. I said, okay. So went on in. When I got in the locker room, I cleared everybody out of the locker room but me and the players. Told the coaches to go, y'all go work on offense, y'all go work on defense. I'm going to work on them. And I said, guys, Coach McHale wanted me to be positive, so I am. I'm positive somebody's ass going to walk home tonight and start playing better. Because that's about as positive as I can be now. And all of you going to get on that plane.
That is beautiful, man. Well, all right, Coach. Listen, that is fantastic. And here's something that's good for you because you're so West Virginia. I got to finish this up because I got to go ahead and break down some film. But I want to have you back if you'll come back, if you'll bless us to come back with that, because the information here is just so deep. But let me ask you this: give me your best Randy Moss story about how great of a player he was, because I just think he was so beyond exceptional, so incredible, and I want to hear what you have to say.
Well, in '97. From 1996 to 99, we only lost 4 ball games, and we were ahead in all those games in the fourth quarter. But Randy was something. And I'll tell you, in 97, we play Ole Miss in Tuberville as the coach there. And my defensive back coach was disciplining the kid. We had a backup in there, and they go down the field and throw the ball over on him about the replacement. And so we quit disciplining that really good player and put him back in the game. Start playing better, but so they go up 7-0. So they don't understand how good Randy is. He's a Heisman Trophy finalist and Blitikoff winner, and so they come out and they got the 60-yard sprint champion in the SEC playing bump and run on Randy the first play of the game. Okay. What do? One guy on him, check, 80 yards.
Okay, I got it.
Okay,
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hey, we're playing Ball State and they're trying to play him tight coverage. He scored 5 touchdowns in the game. And I'll never forget, and I wasn't trying to be, we're handling them pretty handily. And they had a little kid. He was a pretty good little player. But, he was playing Randy real tight,
Yeah.
I said, son, you better back your ass up. I said, he's going to score on you this play. We checked and threw it out there. I told you, bud. Trying to help you.
There's so many great coaches out there, but how good is it when you have a great player to make you a better coach?
Oh yeah, really good players make you good. I had good players. I really did. We were lucky in recruiting, and at one time at Marchiol, while I was there, we had 27 kids in the NFL one time.
Wow.
Somebody said one time, "You're a better coach than that guy." I said, "No, I don't know. I don't know if I can win that many games with those guys." I said, "We had really good players and good coaches." And that's what Coach Nealon did so well. He coached them. They knew what to do, but he got him some good players too.
All
He's
right,
good
Coach.
man.
Absolutely. Hey, you know what? I'd love to have you back. Please come back to the show
Okay.
here, Wolfman's Call. Last thing I want to know is what's good for West Virginia, because you are. And so what's good for West Virginia? Game changer, all of that, all the good things. What can we do to be better? WVU, Marchiol. Hey, you got Clint Trickett down there as the offensive coordinator. You got Billy
Yeah.
Lake. I mean, there's a whole lot going on here in Marchiol and West Virginia, and being prideful in both.
We need to play them. We need to play them.
I was telling you going to say that. All right, I heard you. I heard that
Yeah,
you
we
say
need to
that.
play them because that's good for the state. Right now, the people that Marchiol and West Virginia aren't filling the stands with for their games. That game will be full. There'll be a butt on every number.
Yep, you got that right, Coach.
That's
Yep.
good, and all the money stays in the state. When I came up there and played them in '97, we stayed in Fairmont. We everything come back to Marchiol, and to West Virginia.
Yeah.
I know, but I'm not being mean when I say this. That's playing West Virginia. The X's and O's aren't the same, but they can be the same in any game if one of them don't come to play.
That's for sure, Coach. Yep.
And so what I'm saying is, if WVU's got to worry about beating Marchiol, they're not thinking about winning a national championship. See, and that's what I thought. See, in other words, I had a player one time, say, "Well, you had all these players and all this stuff," and he was recruited by Coach Don, but he was a good player, and we get along great. He was saying, "Well, he had this and I had that." I said, "Son, how many years have you played football?" And he played 5 years in the NFL. He only played 1 year for me. And he said, "I don't know, 18 or whatever, you play a lot of football."
Yeah.
And I said, "How many undefeated teams did you play on?" He said, "1." I said, "I rest my case."
Very good, Coach. All right, hey, Coach Bob Pruitt, I'm telling you, Coach, you're legendary. You're absolutely phenomenal. I love listening to you. I could listen to you all day long. Unfortunately, we got to get moving. So thanks again, Coach. I appreciate
Thanks
you.
for having me.
Yes, and God bless it. I will remember the 5 things for sure. Take care now, and we'll talk to you real soon.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, goodbye. Oh my gosh! If you just don't get fired up about talking to a head coach like that with his legendary experience, and any of you WVU fans, he's right. If you're worried about losing to somebody, you're not worried about winning a national championship. You're not worried about winning your conference, the Big 12. But I'll give him kudos for that, because this is the Wolfman's Call, and that's what we do here. We just call the truth, and unfortunately, a lot of times is people want to sit there and hide behind this and hide behind that, and I just don't believe in doing so, and that's why I'm trying to make the show about the Wolfman's Call, because that's what it is. Not about me, but it's about telling the truth. And it's about having my brothers come on, my West Virginia brothers. Having their head coach, Bob Pruitt, he is good for West Virginia. He is good. He is a man full of knowledge, and I give all that respect to him for that. And he's quite a character as well. You should really listen to him speak in a speech, and just listen to him anytime. If you go to dinner with him, take him out to dinner. Take him out to dinner, because you'll pay for it in rewards of laughter and wisdom. Okay, so what do we have going on here? Let's see if we got any good calls here. We got, what's up, Wolfman? Coach Pruitt, glad to have you on the show. Okay, Mark Parsons, he's a Beckley native. All right, Mark, very good. We'd love to have Coach on here. We got What's it like coaching Randy Moss? Well, I think we just got that out there, so that's pretty good. All right, David, thank you for that. Go Mountaineers and Gamecocks. Todd, I think you're on the wrong channel, man. But anyways, we're sure glad to have you in the Mountaineers. What's it like transition for the MAC in 1997? Jackson, I'm sorry I didn't ask Coach that, but I will get back to him next time and do that. And what was it like seeing Marchiol go up against West Virginia in 1997? Well, I'll tell you what, it sure did scare West Virginia. I think the score was not so close, but Randy Moss sure did make it close. Imagine that if he had single coverage on Randy Moss, check it, throw to him. RPO, right back then. Don't say it just is something new, because football, there's really nothing that's brand new for sure. Okay. Let's go ahead and let's get to a commercial. 30 seconds. That's all it is, guys. We got to get in here with Parmar, and we got to get Abby Pearson, WVU gymnast, in here so she can go ahead and represent.
Hi, I'm Abby Pearson from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and when I'm back home, you will find me at my local Parmar store.
We have that gold and blue pride at your local Parmar store. We are coming to your neighborhood soon. West Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Maryland, we have you covered. Download the Parmar app and sign up for the Parmar Rewards Card. Food, gas, groceries, and more, we are gold and blue proud, and we are Parmar stores.
If there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be soon.
All right, Abby, let's go WVU gymnastics. All right, very good. Let's go ahead and open this up with, let's get Nicco and Garrett Greene. They got Oklahoma State. I told you I'd do some little bit of breakdown here. Both the guys. And what I want to do is I want to go through this game. This is going to be an all week long project. And what I want to do is I want to go through the Oklahoma State game and go series by series. And I mean, looking at it, this is what I want to do. We're only going to probably get in, 15, 20 minutes in here. But I want to go ahead and open this up and say, hey, what's the competition? So now when you're looking at this, when you're looking here at the competition, you'll see, if I can get that over there. Okay, we'll do that and see why that's not working there. Technology, you got to love it right there. So go back here and let's get it over here and see if we can't throw this over there. Ah, there we go. Okay. Now, up. Let me get this off. Okay. Now, this is what I want to talk about here, first of all. Before we get started, this is Oklahoma State. This is last year. Garrett Greene was in the game. You had the starting quarterback for Oklahoma State. Sanders, he was not starting. Rangland came in at quarterback. The game was sloppy. It was wet. It was cold. Oklahoma State 7-4. WVU was 4-7, I believe, at the time. And Gigi Garrett Greene was starting. And, of course, then bringing in Nicco. Then Gigi got hurt right at the first series, I believe, in the third quarter. But they were trying to bring Nicco in at that time and give him some reps. So the first half really is Garrett Greene, besides one series with Nicco. And we're going to break that down. But I want to say this, because I say the truth, right? So the truth is this is not a great example of defense. Oklahoma State was, in my opinion, their defenses are unfundamental. They play a lot of man free, and they play a lot of games, which puts them out of position. If you notice, there were some big runs. Garrett Greene had a big run of 40-plus yards, and, of course, the running backs had big runs of plus 50 yards back-to-back, because, to me, Oklahoma State's defense was not solid. But I'm not going to take that away. A win's a win, and WVU went and beat Oklahoma State. Again, I would like to see better competition and better function. Oklahoma State usually had a defense that was impressive, that they would come in, they would put the pressure on you, and they would put you backwards instead of forwards. Tough to move the chains against Oklahoma State. And the thing is that if they broke big, which they did in this game. So obviously, I don't think that they were playing up to snuff, although I will say that I thought it was a spirited effort by West Virginia offensively and defensively. In fact, coming off of that Oklahoma victory. Again, that's a different subject that we'll talk about. But I'm going to tell you the truth. The truth is that this was not a great game. There was not a lot of discipline on either side. There's not a lot of what I call fundamental discipline the thing. But that really doesn't matter. So again, let's go ahead and watch. This is Garrett Greene, first play of the game. Now I'm going to tell you what I really liked about this, okay, with Neil Brown and Graham Harrell, if he was calling it, whoever is calling the plays, I don't know. But whoever's calling the play, this is a play right off to the tight end. Garrett Greene, first play. I like this. Here we go. Let's check it out. You're going to see the motion right there. And look what it's right there. It's just, all it is moving Garrett out of the pocket. And if you have a young quarterback such as Gigi in there, right, and you want to give him an opportunity to feel good about himself, right, to feel good. He's a guy who likes to run the ball. He's a guy who likes to move around in the pocket. And he's not so tall, so he's 5'10". So it's good to move that pocket. And again, this is an excellent first call play right here. As you can see, right off, it's just a flip. All that is, I know it's only 3 yards, but what does it do? It settles his nerves down, and he gets positive yards. Probably hoping they could have got more. And if you look here, this is his completion percentage, 55%, 478 yards for the last 2 games leading up to this. And the reason why I tell you this is that 55% is not where you want to be for your completion percentage. So the accuracy department, okay, needs to go ahead and improve. And that's what I want to talk about with Garrett Greene, because this is not just a critique of what he is, his strengths, but I'm going to tell you, because it's a WolfMan's call, I'm going to tell you what he needs to do to get better. And accuracy is definitely a big part of it. Not saying he can't. Understand what I'm telling you, okay? I've been coaching a long time. Not as long as Coach Pruitt, but that. So, again, let's go ahead and watch it. Now, the second play here. Let's take a look at what we have. I just put that up there so you could see him. This is 5'11", if he is. Okay. So, again, let's look at this personnel. Now, well, West Virginia did a lot in this game because Oklahoma State, again, was a lot of what? Man free, a lot of man coverage. So you want to be able to see them. So they did a whole ton of motioning. It's good football. That is good football. And it's telling a young quarterback like Garrett, is this man coverage or is this zone coverage? So again, you're going to see a lot of this, and they go into the boundary, you're going to see trips, but they're going to go ahead and start moving their players. We'll go ahead. There is half an orbit, or that's a big orbit right there. And again, hand it off to Tony right up the middle. Not bad. Okay, so now you get that. And you look at here, I put this in as well. Last year in wins, they rushed for 239 yards when the wins and 122 yards per game in a rush. Well, that number's got to be like that too. When you want to win, you better have 230 plus up there for the Mountaineers this year. It's got to be. Okay, and that doesn't matter who's playing a quarterback, because both of these young men have real attributes that can benefit, and they both have to learn things, and they both have to work on, what did Coach say? Go ahead and exploit your strengths. That's what Coach Pruitt just said. You just heard a legendary coach. Exploit your strengths and minimize your weaknesses. Okay, so once again, you're looking at Gigi right here, and they're exploiting his strengths, and you see the run. And you saw a pass. That was easy. It's 3rd and 3 now. You're looking here at a double. You can see the West Virginia down there beyond towards the boundary at the bottom of the screen. So it's double. It's 2 by 2. It's going to go in motion. Now it's 3 by 1. So that's the orbit motion, 3 by 1. Now he's going for a pass. And it's 3rd and 3. What's he going to do? He's looking for what? This is his favorite pass. Now, here's what's going to have to happen here. Okay, because you can see here that Oklahoma State knew that they liked the slants with Gigi. Why? Because he likes that creek right in there. It's a slant. It's a go-to. It's a highly good throw that you're going to go to your first target. Your first target. That's what Gigi likes to do. Go to his first target, and this is his 3rd and 3. It's not a bad call, but you can see there that safety knew it in the corner. But it's a good throw, good catch. It's first down. All right? Good job, Garrett Greene. Right there, play. You can see again here, right there. Zoom, nice catch, BFW, Bryce Ford Weirton. Boy, I sure hope he makes that team. And right there again, you see it. That's a tight throw. Now, I just told you that I want to see better accuracy. Now, that accuracy, that was good. That's good. It's a rainy day too. He fires it in there, zips it in there, but he likes slants, and they like. West Virginia's going to be very careful with Garrett Greene in there. The slant, because that is going to get picked, as you'll see here later on. And as I continue on, you see this. So now you see what Garrett Greene is seeing. Right there. Look at the hole opening up for the slant. Look at the left guard. Look at the center, Zach Frazier. Okay, there's an opening there for him to throw it. That's not bad. It's a good job by the offensive line. And he fires it off. Again, that's a play. Good job. Now we're back. We should be back to 1st and 10. Look at this formation here. I really want to get into these formations too because I kind of like this. Because what I'm seeing here is you see a tight end on the opposite end, and you see hip by hip. Now they're going to probably go in motion. I bet you go in motion. The one time, no, they don't go in motion. Okay, sorry. This is my fault. All right, so now this is Garrett Greene here. And it's 1st and 10. You're seeing an overload right here. And we're going to get into this. Look at the overload to the right side. Oh, what happened there? There we go. Something happened. Hang on, folks. Let's see if we got this here. Yep. Something happened. I want to get back into that. Hang on. Somebody clicked that out there. All right, this is back to the first play. All right, it's Tony, the second play. Okay, this is right here. Doggone, I really wanted to hit that play. Okay. That's the cover. Okay, here, let's just keep this moving right here. We'll just roll right through it. Again. There you go. BFW with the catch. Okay. So here we go. Overload here. Now, what happens here is he should either go to the opposite side, flip it over, go to an RPO, because right now they are in a little bit outnumbered here. So he gets up there. I'm not sure. He's in the gun position. Okay, this could be either or. Sometimes you just can't tell exactly what he's being taught to do. I'm talking about Garrett Greene is. But if you go ahead and you look at this, they got 3 over, 2 offensive linemen go after 1 defensive lineman, and you see the tight end, the H-back, going for the outside. Well, that leaves number 2 wide open. And you see right there, he's going to make the tackle for a loss. Now, that's a big deal. When we go ahead and we look at this again, you will see, and now you're even missing the middle linebacker for the offensive lineman to go ahead, Jaquay, do that. That's not acceptable, and that's why this play is diffused and down, and it's a TFL. And what I'm talking about, look at the combo right here. So they want to go ahead and combo. So what I would do, if this is me as an offensive lineman coach, I would say, okay, there's 3 out here, and I have 3, right? Well, I would call a fan call. And that means that the tight end takes number 5, the tackle kicks out to number 2 in the middle, and then the guard kicks to number 3. Now you got your aces right here. I'm not sure if he should have ran into this, but again, I can't make that call for him right there. But I know this is not how it's supposed to be blocked. That's a missed assignment. What he just talked about, missed assignment, not knowing what you're doing, because you got 2-on-1 going up to the linebacker. You got to secure that first level first. That's rule number 1. Secure the first level at all times, and that's a flaw right there. So, again, they don't do it. What happens? They get the TFL. And that was second down. That was the TV coverage missing that one. That was Tony again. He got 3 yards. So that was 2nd and 12. Now this is going to be 3rd and 9 coming up here. So this is GG right here. 3rd and 9. Now let's take a look here. Look at this. They got 2 guys outside the hash right there to the bottom of the field. It's 3rd and 9. You got an H-back in a 1-by-1 hip pocket of the right tackle, and then you have an X receiver up top, and you have a running back to the weak side of the strength. And in the gun, right there. Oh, it's offsides. Look at what happened. Okay, so when I talk about a porous, disciplined defense, what I'm saying with Oklahoma State, this is all man coverage right here, and you're going to see the H-back side, even though they jumped off sides. They screwed it up, but this is a free play. This is a good job by Garrett Greene to recognize this. And gets it out there, gets it to the tight end, and what does he do? He gets the first down. They decline the offsides, right? I mean, but again, where's the man coverage? What did Coach Pruitt just say? If you don't know what you're doing, you don't know what you're doing. And you got to find someone out there to get what you're doing. So that's a great coach point. Everything he just talked about, I could demonstrate here on the football field. And that's what makes it so cool. So again, we got trips to the bottom. I bet you someone's going to go in motion. We got to even out it because you got trips in the boundary, which is not bad always as well. But what does this do? Watch. Oh, there goes a guy. It's man coverage, Garrett Greene. GG, it's man coverage. Look, number 5 up top. He goes over the top. It's man. We all know it. Okay, now we got another. There goes Sam James in the half orbit right there. Headed up. Oh, look at that. You see that? He knows that he's got man coverage up top. That other safety wasn't there because they were going man free. That safety was right in the center. That's not bad. Now, what it looks to me is I think there's a penalty here, but it looks to me like the throw. Well, let's take a better look at the throw. But again, he knows what he has here because the setup took it for him. And he goes, I got single coverage out here, man coverage on this. So if he's doing a slant, I know where to put the ball. Oh, RPO, right? RPO. Run pass option. Okay, let's get that accuracy better right here. Okay, let's get it better. You see the run pass option. He's taking it. Man coverage. Whoa. Right there. You gotta make that tight. Just like that first time that he did. But again, now you're going back to 55%. And you got to have it in the 60s. And that's something the strength. Again, this is all critiquing in a good way. In a good way. Understand the difference. Okay, let's go back. So now we are working here. You have a 2-by-2 situation with a running back to the boundary in the gun. And once again, you're going to go ahead and throw it. All right. So now it's man coverage. You can see it was man coverage. I think he could see. I'm going to give Garrett the benefit of the doubt here and see that he's not going to get many yards, or he doesn't want to throw the ball away, doesn't want to throw it in the end zone or get a pick. So he's going to throw that ball away. Or it was really cold and rainy and maybe the ball just slipped out of his hands. All right, that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to give the benefit of the doubt. And look at this movement. Now, again, I like the movement here. I like Neil's thoughts and what he's doing. The more movement, the better, because what does movement do for you? Movement makes the defense think and adjust. What is defense supposed to do? They're supposed to react. And defenses want to react fast, right? They want to cause disruption. They want to cause problems. Well, you start moving around, you get a guy. What did Coach Pruitt just say? You got to know. You got to know why. You got to know when. You got to know what you're doing. Okay? You got to know all those things, and look what happens. You got it. Then he adjusts, so you keep zoning off, and he got a passing play right here. Oh, there's a sack. Now, you're going to see the left guard, Tomas Remack, who is a redshirt freshman All-American, right? I like the young man a lot. I think he's got a lot to him, and I think he could be excellent to awesome offensive lineman. Who knows how far he can go? I'm not going to put any limits on him. But again, you see the sack here. But this is what I want to say about this. Now, if you do the count, if you want to do the math, okay, count it off. 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. Get the ball off, Garrett. You got to get off. Either you got to think about it, throw it away. I know it's tight, but you don't want to take the sack. And also, I think that the guy had a face mask against Garrett. Wasn't called, should have been called, but you got to get the ball off. 3,000, you want to find it right there, especially in the man coverage. Okay, that's my opinion. Maybe someone else thinks differently, but I don't think so. I want that ball out of there because it's 4,000. Only bad things can happen after 4,000 unless you're rolling outside the pocket. Okay, but here we go. Get the sack. You see? Yeah, I don't know. I think that was a face mask. Not positive, but, we'll go back. Here again, you see Thomas now getting beat. Now, what does Thomas need to do? Thomas, man, you need to keep your head up, young man. And that's tough. Oh, trust me, I know. I know what guard is, and I know what it's like to get beat. And I know exactly what Mike Jacobs told me. Get your head up, Wolf, or get your head out. Right? Coach Pruitt, get out of there. Or if you don't do it, you know what I mean? It is what it is. So that's again, I mean, I'm totally enjoying this. Look at this. Oh, move your feet too, man. Get your head up and move your feet. Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. Right? Okay. All right. He's going to be a good one, folks. Trust me. He's going to be good. This is what happens here. Again, Gigi goes down, so that was 3rd and 9. So, that, or 3rd and 26. Now, that was 2nd, and now it's 2nd or 3rd and 26. So, we're looking at the formation here. And what I'm seeing here is you're going to have it a 2x1 right off the bat. Okay, now, this is 3rd and 26. So, you're saying, all right, what can we do in 3rd and 26? There's not a lot of plays that say 3rd and 26. Well, either you can throw it up for, vertical route going down there, just time it up 3 seconds, pop it, 1, 2, 3, that's 3 steps and pop it. Or you go ahead and do this check down here, which is not a bad decision. Although I would have liked something a little bit deeper for a check down, just because, just in case you could pop a tackle, maybe get in field goal range. Maybe not. I don't know. I might be asking for too much right here. But good to see Tony gets caught. Not much of a gain there. That's the first series. So they take off. They come out in Oklahoma State. Garrett Greene did some good stuff. He's had some defensive help for the penalties there. But he did some good things, made some good decisions, and maybe would ask for some things back. I think that some decisions or wanting to execute better in that first series. And that's what's real. And that's what he's going to hear. And Garrett would probably be here and say, yeah, that's right, even though if I don't know exactly what he's thinking. But we're going to go ahead, and we're going to go to the second series. And, okay, this is a one-play series. Now, I want to break this down because I think Garrett Greene is really a special athlete. And I think he's got a knack for this. Now, I got to go back. I got to tell you, this defense, my gosh, it's really, I mean, if I had Coach Pruitt here right now, he'd be like, what in the world is this kind of defense? And that's what I'm talking about, these big plays. Oklahoma State, either they tackle you for a loss or you get a big gain. It's the same thing as Oklahoma. Last year, Oklahoma was number 11th in the country for TFLs. 11th in the country for TFLs. Well, you'd think, but they're also 112th against the run total for giving up yards. Because either they hit you behind the line of scrimmage or they go ahead and you have a big play explosion. And you know what? That's exactly what you've seen this latest of ball for the last 10 years. The Dana Holgerson period, all the air raid stuff. We just want to cause turnovers. There's not, forget about that good defenses. We just want to cause, that's why you see them doing all this radical stuff, because what they want to do is they want to penetrate, tackle for loss. That means they could possibly disrupt the ball, and I don't like it. Okay? That's just me. So here you go. We're going to watch this, but watch now. Garrett Greene, what an athlete! Good job there. 2x2 offense. You got the running back in the gun to the field. Okay, so I call that 3x2 in reality. But we're going to look at it now. Okay, this is the draw. This is Major Harris 70 quarterback draw. This is Pat White. I don't know what Rich Rod called it back in the day, but this is the draw. And this is Garrett Greene, and this is a good job. But I want you to watch his defense because it's so unsound, and the angle that the safety takes is absolutely horrible. And I'm blowing my mind here, and I'm watching this. I'm trying to tell you that the lack of defenses in this time in college football is poor. It's porous. You just had Bob Pruitt on there who was giving up 80 yards a game against the run. You had Steve Dunlap on the WolfMan's call last Thursday. One of the greatest defenders at WVU, number 1 defense in 1996, right? That was his defense. Giving up, they want to just pull their eyes and their hair out when they watch this. So again, check this out. You see him running right here. It's one tackle angle. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. It's touchdown. Good job, Garrett Greene. You did what you're supposed to do. And you can see right here, look at it. It's one block. They didn't even have the right guys. And it's like this free safety is going to come here and tackle him between I mean, the whole field. The whole field is there. There's not one that's trying to watch him. It's one guy and gone. One guy, that's what I'm talking about with Oklahoma State. In Oklahoma, and all these, we're either going to knock you for a TFL Not Q4T. I mean, it's one-on-one. There's not even the numbers there, and he's got one guy to beat. So what I'm saying is, I like this. If that's what Oklahoma State is giving you, then that's a great call right there with Garrett Greene, and that's a great run by Garrett Greene. And that right there, though, is not going to be there a lot. And it sure as heck is not going to be there against Penn State. And I want to make sure that everybody understands that. Garrett Greene is going to be able to use the draw if he plays. But again, I'm doing this breakdown so that you can see the differences with Garrett Greene, and then you can see the differences with Nicco, and what their strengths are, and what their weaknesses are, and how the coaching staff is going to have to modify it, so that they exploit their strengths, and they go ahead and they don't expose their weaknesses. And you'll see that right here. So Nicco comes in for three plays here on the third series. So that's the second one. And we'll stop after that for today. But I want to go ahead and break this down here. All right, this is Nicco Marchiol. Now, Nicco Marchiol, just so everybody knows, this is him as a true freshman playing here. And he won this game in the second half. And he made some plays. And we're just going to show that all week long. And this cat is 6'1", and he's about, last time I had him on the show, he's like 225. And he's a young buck. He's a left-handed guy. And there's so many things that intrigue me about him. But he's young. He's young. And that's what you're going to get with a young quarterback, which you watch here. Now, just like Garrett Greene, what did I tell you about? They went ahead and they threw that sling pass to the tight end screen, or flare out there, just a rollout to the tight end. Okay, safe. Go ahead and feel the game. You might be nervous your first time. Nicco's a freshman. What is he going to do here? Well, this is Neil Brown and grab whoever's going to play. Well, they're going to run a quarterback guard age counter. And you can see here, Nicco's going to come up. He's going to get positive yards. He takes a hit. You know, he's in the game now because he got in a little bit against Oklahoma the week before, but this really is his first series. So what do? You give him, say, hey, go ahead. We're going to run a quarterback, GH, guard, H-back, counter, and let's see if we can't break something up the middle, get you your first hit, make you feel in the game. That's the philosophy that I'm suspecting. Again, watch the motion. They go ahead and do that, and not bad. Hopefully, you would like to see an offensive lineman get up to the next level, to those linebackers, and that would be then an even better blocking play. Now, here's what I do like. Okay, this is what I like right here. And what you're going to see here is Nicco, and they're going to go for it. This is a 2nd and 7, I believe. Yep, there you go, 2nd and 7. And Nicco's going to take a shot. Now, this is what I like about this young buck, okay, is he's going to go ahead, he's going to leave the ball out there. How many times do we watch in the last 4 years when you saw a one-on-one, a long ball all the way down, that you saw 50-50, you know, having to wait for the ball to get there, having to go ahead and maybe come back a little bit, you know, because the timing was not there or the strength of the ball was not there. This is what I like. You got 2x2 offensively. You got the running back is to the field. All right. There you go. 2x2. They're going to go motion. So now they're going to go have 3x1. They switch it. They dot the I, meaning that the running back dots over, and it comes out. There we go. Nicco. All this is just the fade route man going for it. And he puts it out there. Check it out. Okay. Again, this is what I like. Second play that I've seen him in, okay, the game, second play, he's going to try to throw to Reese Smith here, but what does he do? He doesn't leave the ball up in the air. He doesn't. This is so refreshing. So refreshing. The ball is out there, and maybe with a little bit better communication or whatever, the ball's in the front. Love it. I'll take that play any day, and I'll go said, we'll work from there. We can make that happen from here. Very good. Again, I love it. And then we're going to get the third play here, which is going to be somebody's on the wrong page. What, is this a true freshman quarterback? Yeah. So I don't know. There's a receiver. There's a quarterback that's not on the same page. You're going to see trips up to the top of the field, running backs to the strength, and you have X on the bottom. Here we go. Nicco's going to take it. It is 3rd and long, 3rd and 7. Whatever it might be right there. Again, he's looking. He's expecting something, a hitch, a curl, something, and he doesn't get it. The receiver's doing stop and go, and Nicco's throwing for the stop. And it's just, it's out there. Okay, again, somebody's not on the same page. I'm going to go ahead, and I'm going to think, I'm going to blame them both. Because somebody's not on the same page, and it's their job for each one to know about whose page that is. So we'll go ahead, we'll break it down that way, and that is the third play. And we've been going an hour and 20 minutes, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick this up tomorrow and talk about what we have going on this week. Okay, we have anyone up there? All right, there you go. Love your content. All right, you know what, Tim Greene, I love that, man. And they say long live GBD, go blue dude. Yeah, long live it, man. Kudos for that. But love your content. Well, I appreciate it, man, because you know what? We spent a lot of time doing this and put a lot of effort and work into this. And what can I say? We had 2 new establishments of fine food being in that Kegler Sports Bar and Grill. Thank you, Jerry. The Wrens. And then you have Mike Manning up there at Archie's. Now, we're not going to stop there. We're going to go ahead. You know, Rob Davis, Bridgeport, you know, Brickside Bar and Grill. Steve Reese out there in Fairmont. You got the Mason Jar BBQ and More. Button up those britches, right? And then, of course, you have it at the Mason Jar Saloon and Hot Spot in Morgantown. Aaron Gizzy, Legends Sports Bar and Grill up there at Lakeview Golf Course. Get out there and hit the links. And then you have Mel at the Tap House. Melissa, treat her right, everybody. She's special up there. And, of course, I can't forget. Who am I forgetting here? Anybody? Nobody in Morgantown, because we already did Kegler's. Okay. And then let's go to Teays Valley. You got, well, with Audrey, and you got Haley. You have 24 different kinds of craft beers there. Man, that's a special place right there. You go up to Weirton, West Virginia, and Route 22. How cool. Route 22, Weirton, West Virginia. And I know how special that is, their bottoms-up draft system and their 12 50-inch TVs, rich part of that one. And then we got Archie's up there in Pittsburgh. We're in the enemy territory. Archie's at that Mike Manning up there. They got 80-cent wings Monday through Thursday right there. I think it's the south. You call this south side of enemy territory. So we're happy. We got some others that are coming on. Hang on, folks. We're going to get you on there as well. And we're going to do this. Hey, so tomorrow, we got Daryl Pruett. We got Frank Fear. Frank Fear is going to be talking Cincinnati. Frank Fear, Daryl Pruett, and Al Johnson with the panel. Who knows? Maybe we'll get some other freak to come in, like a guy named Reno. And then we'll go ahead, and Wednesday, we got David Duck Riley, who's a player here, and his grandson now, Sean Martin. So Sean, the defensive end out of Bluefield, West Virginia, will be joining him on Wednesday. And what's his name? The bomb, the voice of Morgantown. He was supposed to come in on the Thursday. He asked me to come on the show. I said, okay, if you really want to come on my show, and then he pulls out. So he said he's got too much to do to come on to the WolfMan's call. So the voice of Morgantown will not be here, but you know what? You had your chance, man. I told you, anyone can come on this show anytime they want. Anyone can come on. And had your chance. But the bomb, we'll see you later. Sorry, I'm not worried about it. And we got this whole game of Oklahoma State with Nicco and Garrett. And you know what? And then we've got some other cool stuff, show you some offensive line, running back. And, you know, then we also got to do some defense. So this whole month of August is going to be cool. And let me just say what's coming for you in August, since we're talking about it. In August, we're going to be doing this whole Voice of College Football on YouTube here. Voice of College Football Network, strengthening it. The Mark Rogers, right? We're doing this. We're going to be going in. We're going to be giving you updates from around the country. ACC, Big 12, obviously. We're going to go ahead to the Pac and all these Big 10 schools. I mean, this is the voice of college football. Remember, the voice of college football was voted #1 football coverage on YouTube. #1. And, of course, we are the Voice of College Football West Virginia channel. And you can go ahead and go on that. And we're darn proud to be a part of it. Get it on Facebook. Get it on Twitter. That's called the WolfMan's Call. Golly, we went a long time today. All right, everybody. Well, let's see what we got here for commercials. Let's wrap it up. I want to thank our sponsors, being with Parmar Stores, Big B-Wall, Milo Written, Big Sexy, Tim. And we'll love everybody at Parmar Stores. And just want to thank them. And we'll see you tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Daryl Pruitt, Al Johnson, Frank Fear.
Hi, I'm Traylon Davis. I'm from Jackson, Ohio, and when I'm back home, you will find me at my local Parmar store.
We had that gold and blue pride at your local Parmar store. We are coming to your neighborhood soon. West Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Maryland, we have you covered. Download the Parmar app and sign up for the Parmar Rewards Card. Food, gas, groceries, and more, we are gold and blue proud, and we are Parmar Stores.
If there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be soon.
Stationers, #1 office supplier in West Virginia. Always in stock. How many? The anywhere, anytime chargers, powering a connected world. Never buy AA batteries again. Rechargeable 500 times plus. Paul Mini AA USB lithium battery, as easy to charge as your cell phone. Sustainable energy. Stay charged. Go green, save green. Feel the power of Paul. Order now at paulmini.com.